All right. This is gonna be a sort of like director's vlog. I want to document the process of creating my first short. I want to really document this process because I want to have a record for the future when it's out, so I could come back and reflect and see if I was successful at getting through all the ideas I wanted to get through. If you could hear squawking in the background, it's my bird. I'll probably not make any of this available on YouTube right away. First and foremost, this is for me and my eyes only. But I want to make these so I could keep a record of where my mind was at every stage of production and every stage in a project's life. I want to know where I was thinking, where my mind was at, how things change from initial conception to eventual execution, which I hope it's executed, right? Right now, the working title is between three things, and all my different aspects of the project, from the pitch deck to the file names to the script, all have a different name. It started as The Man on Fire. Right now, it's between Those Two on Fire and Devil on Fire. So creative, right? Essentially a mystery thriller with a little bit of a noir thrown in. It's a very fun concept, and I feel like I've reached a point where I am, in a way, creating it with intentionality, and everything around it is thought out to an extent. Today, I'll just give a brief overview of where the project is, what my plans are, and I'll update maybe next week, maybe end of the week. Maybe we'll do two of these. So right now, the idea is scammer in LA, and they decide to become API unlicensed to prey on and sort of leech off of vulnerable people's money. He comes across this lady who has money, is very secluded, has no family, no one that cares for her, etc. Perfect target to be preyed upon. Unbeknownst to him, some other entity has came to the same conclusion that this woman is the perfect prey, has started preying on her as well. But she's taken notice, and that's why she's contacted him, because she thinks that someone is stalking him. Turns out it's a think tank commissioned on behalf of the U.S. government to sort of find a way to come up with new ways to control the public, to socially condition, brainwash, etc. They come to the conclusions what if we just start brainwashing people, just outright, So they target her, and she believes that someone is stalking her and sets himself on fire every so often in front of her house. She doesn't know if it's the same person. She thinks it's someone putting a prank on her, or someone trying to get her home away from her, the last thing she has from her family. She thinks it's someone trying to steal what's hers from her. She thinks it's one of the neighborhood kids or algo, or a real estate developer that she turned down. And she also believes they're in her walls listening to her and shit. So I have the feature length version, which expands upon that idea, but the short version is around 5 minutes long, maybe 10 tops. And it focuses mainly on the events leading up to that first scare, and wherein the grifter is rehearsing this whole scenario with his friends. The grifter's name is Damien. Their friends are Vero, and Vero's other friend is Diana. Diana doesn't like Damien at all, but they get more involved because they live closest to the lady, whose name is Monica. Her name is Monica, and it starts with Damien, Vero, and Diana rehearsing the script for the scam, etc. Damien meeting Monica, them having a little bit of an argument. He's a little creeped out by her. He thinks she doesn't have the money. She runs off to collect the money. At night, that's when Damien experiences the man on fire, who appears to him in the front yard at night. Shortly before then, he starts hearing all this chittering and chattering and clinking and clinking alongside the walls of her home. Sees a man on fire, gets creeped out, and before we know it, it all fades to white. He's overtaken by the light. He fades to white, and then he wakes up underneath an electrical tower. And that's where the short ends, with him waking up and like being super disoriented. In the feature length version, after that, Damien suffers from short-term memory loss and only really becomes invested in helping Monica because he's scared of what this might have done to him. So he's a selfish person. Diana, meanwhile, is sort of like his enabler, childhood best friend, who likes to live vicariously through him, just kind of supplies him with what he needs. So she also feels bad for him. She just wants him to see him on the right side of the tracks and everything. But ultimately it ends up just giving him like all the stuff that he needs to like do it. It's like they're, I guess, in the spy movie, like in the James Bond movie, like she's like his cue, right? Vero is very responsible, has a bit of a moral compass, and does not like Damien, but is the one who initially told Diana about the whole situation with Monica because they live in the same neighborhood. Didn't want Damien to know about this. Didn't know that like Diana was gonna tell Damien. Gets a little bit upset, but becomes more involved with Damien, and it's essentially about like how they bond over like this traumatic event as well. Monica is the person being affected here in this story, and as such is a big part of the movie. She's very much like a person who's been traumatized by events in her life. She's always constantly moving. She only ever stops when talking about like what's been happening to her. I don't want her to just be a victim. I want her to be like this person that we explore a character study of someone who's disenfranchised from society. Politics aren't like important to her because she can afford them to not be important to her. But as we go on, it's like she becomes like the perfect prey for this think tank to exploit her and use her to do something horrible. Damien, I want a big point of like the movie to be that Damien is not a PI. He's a scammer. He's a grifter. He is not like educated to do this. He has no training in doing this. He just thought this was like an easy mark, and he did what he does best, which is try to scam. And it goes as well as you would think. Like he's always 4 steps behind. He gets beat up. He gets like hurt. He chases the wrong people. He comes to the wrong conclusions. But like he's slowly making like do, figuring it out, and he does figure it out. And anytime he finds a place that has remnants of like this operation, like the secret operation ongoing, he's too late. Like there's impressions that people were there, but they're no longer there. They've already left. Sometimes the closest he gets is like maybe a chair still spinning or like a coffee still warm to show that there were people there. And I want to make that like a point in the movie to be like he never really stood a chance. So it's kind of like a sad like movie in the feature length version. But I think it's very interesting. Some like my main inspiration at this moment for this movie in particular is Homecoming with Julia Roberts and directed by Sam Esmail. Cinematography Todd Campbell. I think that series looks amazing. I think their visual language is stunning. I think it adapts Hitchcock in the best way. It's such like a modern noir. Oh my god, it's amazing. And I want this to be my first attempt, and hopefully not my last attempt, to try and create something in the spirit of that. There's a lot of like podcasts and a lot of like direct to streaming shows that are like, ooh, evil mysterious company is evil, right? God knows, right? And this is kind of falls into that genre, but I differ in the way that I'm not compartmentalizing blame, but rather saying like, no, this is almost in our faces. You know, like the point of blame isn't like a private company. I mean, they are, right? But like at the end of the day, they were hired by someone who was hired by someone who was approved by the government to do this. Especially in America, nothing really gets past like the height of the federal government. It's only like enabled. And also not to mention like psyops or like counter protest movements or the creation of like fake like social movements to sway America, like Americans left or right, which is like a modern day propaganda, right? And I kind of want to create a scenario. It's like within every generation, it seems a little harder to sell war and patriotism to America due to the access of education. So, what happens to these next generations who, like, it's almost sort of impossible to sell war to? Like, what will the government have to resort to? There's an important feeling of like within the movie of yes, this is fucked up, but they're not the only ones doing this. And this is not the first time in American history that we've done something like this. Um, and I want to make it feel like yo, like they were only this like company or like this think tank was only one of several contractors who were trying out different methods to find a new way to condition the American public. I think I'll leave it at that. Right now, I'm still writing the script for the short version. Once I finish that or go through it again, I'll send it out to three of my homies who write way better than me. That's Pat, Eduardo, and Javi. If you heard your name, I love you. If you didn't hear your name, I also love you. If you watching this video and you found yourself with a copy of the script, love you too. For now, I think that's mainly it. I'm like 3 pages in, not liking how it's sounding. I'll probably try and finish up the first draft by tonight, and rework it tomorrow. Tomorrow I work, but whatever, we'll figure it out. Today's Monday, October 3rd. 2022. I'm hoping to get this done by December 2022. Want to get this done by the end of the year, and I want to submit it to film festivals so I could try and find money for the feature. I think I'm gonna try to make it between like 5 to 15 minutes. But with 3 scenes, it'll be a little hard. Maybe I'll have to go and add an extra scene at the end, maybe 2. Just to try and make everything well rounded. I'll work on my posture for these videos. I keep forgetting right now to like sit up straight and stuff, but I'll be doing that. Yeah, I'm gonna try to make a habit out of this. I'll upload the videos, I'll delete the original footage, and just live with the fact that I made this video. Also, my baby niece is going to be born within a month, so it'd be cool to have all this stuff kind of documented and all that. Yeah, okay, I'm excited. And I think I'll see y'all by the end of the week, and if not by the end of the week, then I'll see you the following week. I got a message now. Those 2 on fire. Hopefully out by the time y'all see this. I love you.